a series between these two players. But hey,
Series G.
Yeah, we'll call this Series G here. So spotting in the bottom right-hand corner of this best-of-5 series, it is the blue Zerg player getting that first win in this series. From Finland, he is ZhuGeLiang. I'm just embracing.
Well, yeah, what I was going to say is, you know what, anyone in chat, we're going to butcher it. Just like, it's cool. We understand we're not saying it right. In the top left-hand corner, the red Zerg player from Team Detonation. It is Vaisravana. Is it team? I guess it's Detonation Pro Esports. Is that what it says? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Detonation Pro Esports.
Maybe I think that might see team at the end of, if you look at the
Too long of a name, I'm
thing,
sorry.
but
Like,
yeah.
just fix it. Like, just
Team
change it. I don't care.
No, Detonation Pro Esports team.
Or just DTN.
Yeah, we'll go with that. So, both players are not going for any early pool shenanigans, so they're gonna both continue to just go with the original build orders that they're initially planning here. So, we're not gonna see any crazy early lane aggression.
You still have the option of something like a 14-14, but as you said, we're not seeing that in a map like Terraform. Sometimes those do really come into play, whether it's like a Baneling Blast or those early lane pushes. It can get a little bit dicey on these maps, especially Terraform, but neither player is going to be doing that. And this is a best-of-5 series. You got some wiggle room. You don't need to be too worried, okay, I lost game one, let's just move on. So it's a much better situation than, crap, this is best of 3, and now I got to do something to get myself out.
Yeah, definitely. So we see that Zhu is going to go ahead and go for that pool first, and then he's going to go ahead and get that hatch at 16. So just going with the 15-16 opener here. So trying to be safe, worried that maybe there's an early pool on the way since it is Terraform like you were mentioning, but we're going to see that they're both going to go ahead and open up relatively safely for both these players.
Once again, a little bit emulating game one, Vaisravana will go for his extractor. He likes his early Ling, or not even early Ling metabolic boost, but he likes getting metabolic boost. He likes everything in place, so he has what he needs. He has his tools to defend. While his opponent Zhu in the bottom right, I mean, getting gas now, but he has kind of delayed it a couple times, and especially in game one. I'm a little bit worried for him, but on the other hand, as you mentioned, Hawkeye in game one, both players are kind of like, you know what, it's cool, just like, let's get to the 3-base stage and then deal with each other.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of times, 3 bases is that point where both players generally are the most comfortable in a ZVZ, just because it's kind of the more macro stage of the series, of the matchup. So both players would be perfectly content with just going to the 3 base and just starting. If they could press a button just saying, I want 3 base, and, you know, we just fast forward to that.
It's like, don't rush 20.
Yeah,
guys, we're going to wait.
Don't rush 20.
Don't rush me.
Just macro as much as you can, and then we'll go all out in the middle of the map at this point in time. It'll be like what armies would meet out in the middle in the, like, medieval ages. I feel like they were, you know, just planned ahead and just be like, we're going to meet here behind the bike rack at 7 o'clock.
They were. I'm pretty sure they dang were. That's what I always feel like in 3v3s. You need 2 like GM players on each side doing macro, and then feeding like a Bronze League guy, like all the stuff, and then eventually like they kind of mosey on out into the middle of the map, the 2 Bronze League players, and smash their armies together.
Yeah, I know. I remember when I was first getting into StarCraft that for some reason, you know how funny team games can turn out, but
Vaisravana, sorry, will scout the Roach Warren of his opponent. Oh, sorry, Vaisravana going Banelings, but also scout this. So I was like, he knows everything that's going on right there. And Zhu, he does not see the Baneling nest, but if his opponent isn't going Roach Warren and not going Roach Warren, probably is going to be going Baneling himself. And this may just completely counter what Vaisravana is doing. And yeah, Vaisravana throwing up his spine. He's got to kind of switch his tech or take a quick third off the back of this. So I keep going with what you're saying, though.
Yeah, no, I was making a note about when I was joining team games, and I was definitely the weaker player, but it always showed that my performance was the best because at the end, since I was untouched, I had the ability to just mass up whatever units I wanted, so.
I always love that. You're like, I had the better APM, of course I win. Like, no, you don't win. I had better APM, I don't care if I lost right there.
I don't care that I was involved with 90% in the active engagements in the map.
Vaisravana, though, does send a couple Lings over. Sadly, Zhu already has Roaches out and just playing a very safe style here. And this is That's so what we saw in game one, but he likes this safe style. I'm still kind of waiting for Lair to come along, or whether he will go for this kind of roach push and actually splits up his roaches and may very well just try to deny the third of his opponent. Right now, wow, I was just saying, Vaisravana he's all over the place.
Yeah, super worried. Well, I think he's settling down now that he's seeing the size of that roach push, thinking that his lings and 3 spine crawlers would be plenty, or you know he's going to try to deny a third, and there's not a third there, so that investment, quote unquote, doesn't pay off in the original sense. So these spine crawlers now done, and we're going to see these roaches are going to go ahead and push on through, but there's some lings that are going to be coming up on the top as well. So this might be a big push from ZhuGeLiang.
At least right now, even if Zhu can't push, he did take his third base off the back of this, and he can kind of contain and not worry about the super agile lings getting up into his face and maybe counterattacking. So for now, as long as he can contain, I think he's going to be in a fantastic position. The biggest thing I'm worried about, though, is there is no roach speed for either of these players, but especially for Zhu, when the majority of his army is roaches, they can easily, not necessarily be killed, but the lings can surround them and shut them down along the other roaches of Vaisravana, actually to get the DPS done.
Yeah, so this does look very familiar to it's like an earlier timing of the roaches of the roach link push out into a third base here. So obviously the two were kind of feeling each other out, and Terraform looking to go ahead and get that pressure on a little bit more. But we do see Vaisravana actually has a bigger army than ZhuGeLiang, so he's going to go ahead and start pursuing.
The one thing about this map, though, is because of just the multitude of attack paths, you gotta be really careful about pursuing down this bottom attack path easily. The lings of Zhu could have kind of counterattacked through the middle, done something like that. You just always gotta worry, especially with slow roaches. For now, roach speed is all the way for Vaisravana, and it will be done in about 50, just about a minute, pretty much, for him, and he's going to try to push into this, but he's got to be really careful. This is
yeah,
on creep,
but he's going to have
queens.
his +1 missile attack, so this could be a nice little push from Vaisravana, because that +1 missile attack just completed, and now these roaches are going to go down here, and we could already see that the upgrades are doing Vaisravana multiple favors here already. So having just a slight amount of roaches ahead and just being able to do with the +1, he's going to go ahead and push in here, and not exactly in the best position, but he's reducing the surface area from where any other units could attack from. So these roaches are paying for themselves in gold right now. They're taking out many of these roaches here, and they keep streaming in, but these lings are going to come through and eventually shut this down. But a lot of value from these small roaches.
Even though they did clean up the roaches and a queen, I'd actually argue that they didn't do much right there, because while that was going on, the third base of Vaisravana was taken out, and they only picked up 2 kills. With transfuse, with the queens, with the roaches, they did delay the army of Zhu here, but honestly, I think he may have thrown them away a little bit preemptively. He did have +1, but should have held back and waited to accumulate some more roaches. For now, though, Vaisravana will be going for a counterattack, defending his own third and attacking the third of Zhu.
Yeah, so these roaches are going to come in. They're going to go ahead and get 4 drones here. Now the roaches are going to engage. But over at the third base here, we have a ton of lings, and these roaches are going to be able to defend it off here. But the queen's going to go ahead and throw transfuse down on some of these roaches, and this ling counterattack is going to get shut down.
Will get shut down while at the third base of Zhu. He does actually end up losing 12 drones, and the roaches are still alive desperately. The roaches of Zhu, which were on the aggressive, will pull back and try to push back Vaisravana, and he will do that, but actually it's kind of evened out, even though Vaisravana lost a decent amount of his roaches down there, and now it's somewhat even, at least on the upgrade field. He has managed to kill some workers and is now pulling back. Currently, it is 46 to 41 drones, not too much of a difference, but still the third base of Vaisravana has been delayed to the 12-minute and 50-second mark, almost 13 minutes down.
Yeah, but we do see he is ahead in 15 roaches right now, and even more, that number is climbing up. So if this push comes in from 2 different angles, this could be a very devastating blow for ZhuGeLiang.
Definitely could be a devastating bullet, but Vaisravana does not want to move into these concaves, but the same thing for Zhu right here. 2 simultaneous fights going down, and actually Zhu is going to lose on both of those fronts, desperately trying to pump out more roaches. We see 8 on the way, 8 on the way for him, and +2, 10 lings, but just Vaisravana is getting a slight lead here and there and just pushing so well.
Yeah, Vaisravana, his missile +2 attack just finished up, and that's a good amount of time ahead of ZhuGeLiang. So ZhuGeLiang is definitely under a lot of pressure here. His third base just went down, and there's just so many roaches here. It's going to be hard to contest it. There's 43 roaches on the map for Vaisravana. 43 roaches compared to the 8 of ZhuGeLiang.
GG! 1-1 between Vaisravana and ZhuGeLiang. Right there, the thing that allowed, I think, Zhu to survive for so long was the third base, not necessarily economically, but macro-wise, larva-wise. He was always able to push out just enough to rebuke Vaisravana, but as you mentioned, he had the upgrade lead huge, and then each time Zhu moved out, Vaisravana hit him in that third base, and even though he wasn't able to kill it, and they both kind of did this action, that is so important.